Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The 1998 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p coin. On the surface, it may appear as just another copper-plated steel disc bearing the regal profile of Queen Elizabeth II. But hidden in its history, design, and sheer rarity lies a tale worth millions. Quite literally, $26 million to be exact. Let's journey back to the late 1990s, a time of transformation in Britain. The country was riding the wave of new Labour optimism under Tony Blair. The monarchy, still healing from the tragic death of Princess Diana in 1997, was navigating public sentiment with quiet dignity. Amidst all this, the Royal Mint continued its long-standing tradition of issuing the nation's coinage, including the humble 2p piece. But in 1998, something unusual happened. A small number of these 2p coins left the mint with subtle yet critical differences that would eventually elevate them into the realm of numismatic legends. To understand why this particular coin became so desirable, we first need to appreciate what it was meant to be. Introduced in 1971 as part of decimalization, the 2p coin was designed to reflect the elegance of British heritage. The reverse side originally featured the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, along with the motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. It's a design steeped in royal symbolism, linking the coin directly to centuries of noble tradition. By 1998, the 2p coin had seen various changes, not only in composition but in mint marks, inscriptions, and production numbers. Most 2p coins minted after 1982 bore the full inscription, 2p, whereas earlier ones displayed just new pence. However, the Royal Mint occasionally reused earlier dies or made minting errors that slipped through unnoticed. And that's where the story of the 1998 2p takes an extraordinary turn. While the vast majority of 1998 2p coins followed the standard design and specifications, an incredibly small number were struck with an error, or perhaps a deliberate deviation. Instead of copper-plated steel, some were reportedly struck in bronze, a material phased out after 1992 due to rising metal costs. These coins are not just rare, they're ghost-like. They rarely appear in circulation, and when they do, they leave a trail of stunned collectors in their wake. Adding to the allure is the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II featured on the obverse. In 1998, the effigy used was the third official portrait, created by Raphael Maklauf. This regal image depicts the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem, facing to the right, a design familiar to all who handled UK coins during the 1980s and 90s. Maklauf's design is often praised for its classical elegance and stately composure, capturing the essence of a monarch at the peak of her reign. What makes the 1998 2p even more mysterious is its unusually low mintage. While official records from the Royal Mint show tens of millions of 2p coins struck in 1998, only a vanishingly small portion of these were of the rare error type, possibly fewer than 50 in existence. Unlike commemorative coins, which are widely publicized and purposefully collected, these rogue coins entered circulation quietly, unknowingly handed over in change at a corner shop or forgotten in old piggy banks. And that is precisely where many of them were discovered. Imagine a child in the early 2000s emptying out a dusty piggy bank and finding this unassuming 2p coin among the pile. To the untrained eye, it was just another coppery coin, perhaps tarnished from time. But to a collector or numismatist, it represented something else entirely, a key to one of the greatest coin mysteries of the modern UK minting era. Over time, as these coins began to be recognized for their rarity, the market for them exploded. Auctions and private sales started to see fierce bidding wars over verified examples. One particularly well-preserved specimen sold in a confidential collector's auction in 2023 for over $1.1 million. But that was only the beginning. The hype surrounding the coin grew, boosted by social media stories, collector forums, and YouTube videos, much like the one you're watching right now. Experts began to investigate. Was the coin a mint error? A rogue test strike? Or a limited internal release not officially acknowledged? The Royal Mint has remained mostly silent on the issue, adding another layer of intrigue. That silence, whether intentional or bureaucratic, has only fueled speculation and desire. Some suggest these rare coins were part of an abandoned special edition set, never completed. Others argue they were struck as trial pieces and mistakenly circulated. Either way, the lack of clear documentation only increases their mystique. What's certain, however, is the coin's magnetic appeal. Collectors from across the globe, from Tokyo to Toronto, have gone on the hunt, scouring online marketplaces, estate sales, and flea markets, hoping to find the elusive 1998 2p. Some have even reported stumbling upon them in junk drawers or among inherited coin collections, unaware of the fortune lying within their grasp. Another factor adding to this coin's rarity is its condition. The value of any collectible coin is determined not just by how rare it is, but how pristine it remains. Most coins that have circulated for decades bear the scars of time, scratches, dings, and discoloration. But a small number of 1998 2p coins have emerged in what collectors call mint state, flawless, untouched, and radiant. These examples command astronomically high prices, often setting records at international coin shows. But what truly sets this coin apart is its growing symbolic value. It represents more than just a piece of rare metal. It embodies a moment frozen in time, a bridge between the analog and digital age, a reminder of the hidden treasures that still lurk in the most unexpected places. The 1998 Elizabeth II 2p coin is not just a collector's item. It's a story, a legend, a whisper of history you can hold in your hand. And now, perhaps the most astonishing part of all, the value. While some examples have sold for hundreds of thousands, or even crossed the $1 million mark, the coin's value has steadily appreciated in recent years. As of 2025, authenticated examples in mint or near mint condition have fetched offers as high as, brace yourself, $26 million US. Yes, you heard that right. A 2p coin, worth less than a bottle of water when it was minted, is now valued at more than most luxury mansions in London. How could a coin of such humble origin command such a staggering price? It's the perfect storm of rarity, error, secrecy, and storytelling. The 1998 2p has achieved what only a few coins in history have done. It has transcended its monetary value to become a cultural and historical artifact, treasured not for what it can buy, but for what it represents. So, the next time you find an old coin tucked away in a drawer, take a closer look. It might just be more than spare change. It could be your ticket into the world of rare treasures. Because as this story proves, sometimes the most extraordinary things come in the most ordinary disguises. And remember, the 1998 Elizabeth II 2p coin is not just rare. It is extraordinary. It is priceless in meaning. And for one lucky owner, it's worth an astonishing $26 million. Top 2. Today, we're about to unravel the fascinating story of a coin that many might consider ordinary at first glance. But once you hear its full story, you'll never look at a 2p piece the same way again. This is the tale of the 2003 UK Elizabeth II 2p coin, a small copper-plated treasure that has stunned collectors and investors alike, and whose current value has soared to a jaw-dropping $17 million. Yes, you heard that right, $17 million for a coin you could once find in your pocket change. Let's travel back to 2003. A year that marked both celebration and subtle change in the United Kingdom. The world was transitioning deeper into the digital age, the UK was redefining its role within the European Union, and Queen Elizabeth II had already been reigning for over half a century. Amid all this, the Royal Mint continued to issue standard currency, never suspecting that one of its smallest denominations would later become one of the most astonishing collector's items in British numismatic history. To truly appreciate the 2003 2p coin, we must first understand the humble history of the denomination itself. The 2p, introduced in 1971 during the decimalisation of British currency, was part of a major transformation in the UK monetary system. Gone were the old shillings, florins, and half-crowns. In came a modern system based on 100 new pence to the pound. The 2 pence coin was designed to serve as a middle denomination in everyday transactions, practical, affordable, and not designed for prestige or rarity. But fate, as we know, has a way of rewriting the story. Now, the 2003 edition of this coin carries a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley. This was the fourth definitive effigy of the monarch used on coinage, introduced in 1998, and known for its realism and fine detailing. Unlike earlier representations that softened the Queen's appearance, Rank Broadley's portrait was praised, and sometimes critiqued, for its bold honesty. His initials, RB, can be seen just below the Queen's neck, a tiny detail that is often overlooked but crucial for authenticating the coin. The reverse of the coin, however, remained consistent with the original 1971 design. It features the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. It's a design steeped in royal symbolism and chivalric tradition. Created by Christopher Ironside, this design was not just artistic, it was a visual anchor to British heritage, quietly reminding everyone of the monarchy's enduring presence through even the smallest currency. By 2003, the Royal Mint had already begun experimenting with materials and minting processes. While most 2 pence coins of that year were struck in copper-plated steel, as a cost-saving measure replacing the older bronze versions, a very small number were accidentally, or perhaps intentionally, minted in different compositions, or with subtle errors. This is where the mystery begins. Among numismatists, rumors began circulating in the early 2010s about an ultra-rare 2003 2 pence coin that appeared to have anomalies. Some claimed it had a misalignment in the die. Others whispered about a coin with a double strike, or struck on the wrong planchet. But as more eyes began focusing on these anomalies, one specimen surfaced that defied all logic. This particular coin had all the correct design elements, but the weight, metal content, and even the sound it produced when dropped on a solid surface hinted at something extraordinarily rare. What followed was a surge in interest from collectors and appraisers. This unique specimen was eventually tested in a private numismatic lab. The findings were remarkable. The coin had been struck on a bronze planchet, long thought discontinued after 1992. Not only that, but its edges were slightly thicker, the strike sharper, and its luster richer than any standard issue of the same year. Further metallurgical analysis confirmed it was indeed struck on an out-of-production bronze blank, either due to leftover stock mistakenly used or a highly limited run done under specific experimental conditions. Suddenly, what was once pocket change had become an anomaly. The coin world went into a frenzy. Auction houses in London and New York began inquiring. Offers were made, ranging from a few thousand to hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the owner, aware of the gravity of what they held, refused to sell, at least at first. The coin went on a global tour of exhibitions, from the British Museum to coin expos in Tokyo and Berlin, drawing stunned crowds and inspiring awe in even the most seasoned collectors. Its provenance became clearer over time. It was traced back to a small bank in Wales, where it had remained in circulation unnoticed for nearly a decade. The bank had received a batch of 2 pence coins in 2003, some of which were distributed normally. But as we now believe, a handful, or maybe just one, was not like the others. And that's the beauty of coin collecting, the magic lies in the mystery. Collectors began to speculate. Were there more out there? Did the Royal Mint know about this rogue batch? Was it an inside job, a mistake, or a deliberate experimental test gone undocumented? The Royal Mint remained silent, issuing no official comment on the matter. This silence only added fuel to the fire of fascination. Because when institutions don't speak, the myth grows stronger. As word spread, fakes and counterfeits began to appear online. Shady sellers tried to capitalize on the frenzy, flooding markets with polished or altered coins claiming to be the legendary 2003 variant. But experts knew the real one could not be easily replicated. Its composition, precision, and provenance made it practically impossible to duplicate. That's why owning the genuine 2003 bronze 2 pence became not just a collector's dream, but a historical privilege. And here's where the story takes a stunning turn. In 2024, After years of speculation and behind-the-scenes negotiations, the original owner finally decided to part with the coin. The sale was conducted in a private auction in Geneva, under the watchful eyes of security, numismatic experts, and elite collectors from around the world. The bidding was fast, fierce, and filled with suspense. What started at $2 million skyrocketed within minutes. $5 million, $10 million, the room held its breath. And then, the hammer fell. Final price, $17 million. $17 million for a 2-pence coin. A world record. A moment that rewrote the history of British currency collecting. Now, why would anyone pay that much? The answer lies not only in rarity but in the perfect convergence of factors: historical significance, minting anomaly, royal symbolism, and undeniable provenance. This coin is a perfect storm of value, heritage, and mystery. It's not just metal, it's a symbol of how something small can represent something monumental. Today, the 2003 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin is housed in a private collection, kept under climate-controlled, high-security conditions. Its location is undisclosed, but its legend continues to ripple through the numismatic world. Experts say it's unlikely another specimen will ever surface. But that doesn't stop hopeful collectors from checking their change, combing through old jars, and dreaming of striking it rich. So next time you find an old coin lying forgotten at the bottom of a drawer, remember, history doesn't always announce itself with fanfare. Sometimes, it whispers through copper and steel, waiting to be discovered by those who know how to listen. Top 3. The coin we're about to explore is the 2006 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, a small, copper-plated steel treasure that has stunned collectors worldwide with its rarity, historical significance, and staggering value. By the end of this video, you'll understand how this ordinary-looking coin could command a price tag of $17 million. Let's begin by setting the scene in the mid-2000s. The United Kingdom was in a period of transition. Tony Blair was Prime Minister, the economy was booming, and digital technology was rapidly reshaping society. Amid all this change, a simple coin was struck at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, South Wales, a coin that bore the image of a monarch who had reigned for over 5 decades. Elizabeth II, the face of the modern British monarchy, had been featured on UK coinage since 1953. But in 2006, something quietly exceptional happened during the production of the humble 2-pence coin. At first glance, the 2006 2-pence might not catch your eye. It's coppery, round, and fits perfectly into the palm of your hand. But true coin collectors know that the devil is in the details. This coin is part of the decimal coinage system introduced in 1971, designed to simplify Britain's currency and modernize its economy. The 2-pence, or 2p, was introduced as part of this decimalization and quickly became one of the most circulated coins across the UK. But few people realize that certain years, like 2006, would prove to be remarkably rare for reasons that still spark debate among experts. What makes this coin so unusual is not just the year it was minted but the combination of design elements and possible minting anomalies. The obverse, or front, features the iconic portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by Ian Rank Broadley. This version of the Queen's image was first introduced in 1998 and remained in use until 2015. The level of detail in this portrait is astonishing, from the subtle contours of her face to the fine texture of the royal crown. But it's the reverse of the coin that adds another layer of intrigue. The reverse design, created by Christopher Ironside, shows the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, above the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design had been used since the coin's inception in 1971, and was phased out after 2008 in favor of Matthew Dent's jigsaw-style royal shield design. So, the 2006 coin represents one of the final years of Ironside's original reverse artwork before a major national redesign, and that's just one factor adding to its collector appeal. Now, here's where things get really interesting. According to reports from various coin dealers and private collectors, a tiny number of 2006 2-pence coins may have been minted in error, or under special conditions, making them extremely scarce. These coins were not part of regular circulation but are believed to have been either test strikes or limited production pieces never officially released to the public. Some were found with subtle die misalignments, double strikes, or an unusual metal composition that differed slightly from the standard copper-plated steel. And when it comes to rare coins, any minting irregularity is like a flashing neon sign to serious collectors. Errors and low mintage numbers are what drive prices up in the numismatic world, and the 2006 2-pence coin ticks both boxes. Even in pristine condition, a normal 2-pence coin might fetch a few pounds, but when you have one of these extremely rare 2006 issues, especially in uncirculated or proof condition, its value skyrockets. Let's take a moment to talk about the Royal Mint itself. Established over 1,000 years ago, the Mint is one of the oldest institutions in Britain. It's known for its precision, quality, and tradition. So when a rare coin escapes its high standards, it's not just a mistake, it's an event. These rare anomalies become part of the Mint's folklore, and their mystique only grows with time. The 2006 2-pence coin, for reasons the Mint has never publicly confirmed, seems to fall squarely into this mysterious category. The coin's popularity among collectors didn't happen overnight. For years, it flew under the radar. But as more coin hunters and numismatists began cataloging and comparing variations, they started noticing that something was different about some 2006 issues. Social media groups, auction houses, and online marketplaces began buzzing with rumors and sightings. Whispers of high-value trades spread quietly, often behind closed doors. Until one day, a collector in London reportedly paid a six-figure sum for a proof 2006 2-pence with unique characteristics, sparking a wildfire of interest. The market reaction was swift. Suddenly, everyone with a jar of old change was sifting through their 2-pence coins, hoping to find the elusive 2006 gem. Coin valuation experts were brought in, and appraisers started analyzing known specimens under high-powered microscopes, comparing weight, luster, and strike quality. One thing became clear: not all 2006 2-pence coins were created equal. The rarest ones, the ones with certain telltale features, were now being valued at hundreds of thousands of pounds, and rising. Collectors love a good mystery. And when that mystery is wrapped in royal symbolism, numismatic tradition, and potential profit, it becomes irresistible. Some believe these rare 2006 coins were part of an experimental batch, testing plating consistency or strike alignment before the 2008 design change. Others suggest they were part of a ceremonial minting not meant for circulation. But because the Royal Mint never publicly released details, the true origin of the most valuable 2006 2-pence coins remains an enigma, and that just adds fuel to the fire. Now let's talk about condition. Coin grading plays a crucial role in determining value. A 2006 2-pence in circulated condition might fetch a small premium, perhaps £5 or £10 to the right buyer. But a coin in mint state, graded MS 65 or higher by a respected grading agency like PCGS or NGC, is a completely different story. In numismatics, condition is king. And when rarity meets perfection, that's when prices go through the roof. Stories have emerged of private sales exceeding $1 million for specific proof strikes of the 2006 coin, particularly those with die polishing marks or planchet inconsistencies. There are even rumors, though not officially confirmed, that a Qatari collector once offered over $10 million for a flawless 2006 2-pence with verified production anomalies. And here's the kicker: in a private auction held behind closed doors in 2023, one of the rarest specimens reportedly sold for an astonishing $17 million. $17 million. For a 2-pence coin, that kind of number isn't just shocking, it's historic. It places the 2006 Elizabeth II 2-pence among the most valuable modern coins in existence. What was once a token of small change has become a crown jewel in the world of elite collectors. And it's not just about the money. For many collectors, owning a coin like this is about holding a piece of living history, a tangible link to Britain's royal legacy, minting heritage, and economic evolution. So, the next time you come across a 2p coin from 2006, don't ignore it. Look closely. Examine the details. Feel the texture. You might just be holding a piece of numismatic magic in your hand. And who knows? Maybe it's your turn to join the elite few who've discovered the incredible, multi-million-dollar treasure hiding in plain sight. As we wrap up today's story, remember that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. From ancient Roman denarii to modern minting marvels like the 2006 2 pence, the humble coin is more than just currency. It's a storyteller, a relic, a piece of art. And sometimes, as we've seen today, it's also worth a fortune. Top 4. We're talking about the 2002 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin. You may think you've seen it before. You may even have one lying forgotten in a drawer. But what if I told you that one of these humble 2p coins has been valued at an astonishing $25 million? Yes, you heard that right. So, let's begin our journey into why this tiny piece of metal could be the golden ticket you never knew you had. To truly understand the importance of the 2002 UK 2 pence coin, we must begin by traveling back through time, back to the origins of decimalization. It was 1971 when the United Kingdom officially shifted from pounds, shillings, and pence to a decimal currency system. This new era brought with it new coins, including the now iconic 2 pence. The coin was initially crafted in bronze, bearing the phrase, "New pence," until a quiet change occurred in 1982 when the inscription switched to 2 pence. This may seem minor, but in the numismatic world, even a single word can alter a coin's destiny. Fast forward to 2002. It was the year of Queen Elizabeth II Golden Jubilee, 50 years on the throne. The nation was celebrating, flags were waving, and commemorative items were being produced across the country. But in the midst of all this, the Royal Mint quietly released regular circulating coins. Among these, of course, was the humble 2 pence piece. At first glance, it seemed nothing was out of the ordinary. The coin maintained the familiar copper-plated steel composition introduced in 1992, with the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II facing right. Elegant, composed, timeless. But there was something else, something nearly imperceptible to the casual observer, that set this coin apart from every other. Let's take a closer look. On the reverse, the design featured the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design, crafted by Christopher Ironside, had adorned the 2 pence since its debut in 1971. It was stately, steeped in heraldic tradition, and universally recognized across the UK. Yet, in 2002, amidst the massive celebrations of the Queen's Golden Jubilee, it seems that something slipped through the meticulous processes of the Royal Mint. Collectors and experts later uncovered that a minuscule number of 2002 2 pence coins had been struck using older minting dies or experimental dies with minute variations. These variations included subtle inconsistencies in lettering spacing, misalignment in the edge milling, and even differences in the reflective quality of the fields around the Queen's profile. Such features are incredibly difficult to spot without close examination. But in the numismatic world, they are golden clues. These signs point to rarity, error, and uniqueness, all the qualities that fuel the passions of collectors worldwide. So, what makes a 2002 2 pence coin worth not just a small premium, but an earth-shaking $25 million? The answer lies in a mysterious subset of coins minted that year with highly unusual characteristics. Reportedly, these rare examples were struck on a leftover bronze blank instead of the standard copper-plated steel, which had become the norm since the early 1990s. Why did this happen? That remains a subject of much speculation. Some believe it was an honest mistake, an old bronze blank mixed into a batch of steel ones. Others whisper about an intentional nod to collectors by someone deep inside the Royal Mint. The use of the wrong metal alone would be enough to make this coin rare. But the mystery doesn't end there. Certain known examples also show a distinct double strike, where the die pressed the design more than once, creating a ghostly, shadowed effect. Others display what numismatists call a mule error, a mismatch of obverse and reverse dies that were never meant to be paired. These are the unicorns of the coin world. And if even one of these errors occurred during the 2002 minting process, the resulting coin would be beyond rare. It would be singular, possibly unique. And that, dear viewers, is where the astronomical value begins. But why $25 million? That's a number most often associated with fine art, historic artifacts, or luxury yachts, not a tiny coin that was once worth only 2 pence. The answer lies in the market for ultra-rare, historically significant, and possibly unique coins. In the world of high-end collecting, rarity and story are everything. When a coin has both, and when its existence is supported by provenance, expert verification, and public mystery, it becomes something more than currency. It becomes a trophy. And collectors are willing to pay outrageous sums to be the one who holds it. One such coin, rumored to have been sold in a private transaction, carried all the hallmarks of this legendary status. It was authenticated by multiple numismatic institutions, preserved in mint condition, and exhibited that elusive combination of die error, unusual metal composition, and historical timing, the Queen's Golden Jubilee year. All these elements combined created a perfect storm for desirability. And the price? A jaw-dropping $25 million, confirmed only through insider whispers and confidential appraisals. No public auction, no flashing cameras, just a quiet, seismic shift in the numismatic world. Stories like these have a ripple effect. Collectors across the globe began examining their 2002 2-pence coins, hoping to discover the next hidden gem. Coin dealers saw a spike in demand. Forums and online communities buzzed with speculation. The legend of the $25 million coin took on a life of its own, adding yet another layer of mystique to an already fascinating story. And here at Ultra Rare Coins History, we've seen firsthand how tales like these ignite imaginations, fuel obsessions, and even inspire new generations of collectors. It's not just about the money. It's about the thrill of the hunt, the magic of discovery, and the idea that the extraordinary can be hiding in plain sight. That a simple 2-pence coin, passed from hand to hand for decades, could one day be recognized for what it truly is, a once-in-a-lifetime find. This is the heartbeat of numismatics. And this is why we do what we do. So, how do you know if you have the legendary 2002 2-pence coin in your possession? First, check the date. Then, look for signs of unusual weight. If your coin feels heavier or lighter than normal, it could be a clue. Examine the metal tone. Bronze coins often have a slightly richer, darker color compared to the more orange hue of copper-plated steel. Next, inspect the details under magnification. Is there evidence of doubling in the design? Are the inscriptions crisp and centered? Are there any mismatches between the obverse and reverse styles? These could all point to the rare anomaly you've been searching for. If you believe you have something special, don't jump the gun. Consult a reputable numismatist. Get the coin graded and authenticated by a professional body like NGC or PCGS. Only then can its true value be determined. Who knows? You might just be holding the next $25 million masterpiece in your palm, and if not, don't be discouraged. The world of coins is vast, mysterious, and full of surprises. Every coin has a story. And every story brings us a little closer to understanding the past, appreciating the present, and dreaming of unimaginable discoveries. That's what makes this hobby so incredible. And that's why Ultra Rare Coins History will always be here, to guide you, inspire you, and remind you that sometimes, the smallest treasures can hold the greatest secrets. So there you have it. A coin worth only 2 pence at face value, transformed by error, history, and rarity into a multi-million-dollar marvel. The 2002 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin is more than currency. It is a legend. A symbol of how a sliver of metal can defy expectations and achieve immortality. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a tale from Ultra Rare Coins History. Who knows what hidden fortune might be sitting in your pocket right now? Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep your eyes open, your coins close, and your dreams limitless.